Oh, yeah. What's up, solutionaries? Yeah, come on in. We're going to have a legitimate conversation. Names will be named, goofies will be exposed, truth will be told. Welcome, everybody, to the Maj 2 Ray Show. Appreciate y'all tap in. Y'all know the routine. Tell me where y'all from and what platform you watching from. Comment. Maybe some comment what platform you watching from and what city you from in the comment section. As you all know, we do actual work. Our work at BGM, our work at the Solutionary Center of informing people on how to change their lives as well as their communities. It's work that we've done, actual work, unlike some of the people we're going to have a conversation about tonight. And that work happens and has been free to all because of voluntary support. GiveSingo.com/solutionary is the link to do that. Asking everybody to obviously jump in on the super chat. If you do a super chat, we try to get 10 people at $20 per show. That goes towards the work as well. Actual work. Actual work to improve the communities that we talk about. Okay? And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but this has to be done. Because I'm seeing back to back to back goofy shit all over the place. And I just saw a bunch of stuff in this back and forth between Whitlock and Nick Fuentes today that I want to jump out there and tell y'all about. I want to communicate about it and tie it into a solution. It's the only reason why I talk to y'all about any of these fucking people. Any of these people. If we could turn it into a solution that you guys, solutionaries that tap in for the show, if y'all could use it, then we talk about it. Other than that, most of these people are fucking clowns. Most of them. So if it ain't a solution-based thing, we ain't talking about it. But we got to get through some of the meat and potatoes of this one. So I got a whole bunch of stuff lined up. And again, if you guys that are tapping in, communicate. Y'all know what it is. Why we got to do this every night, y'all? It's 53 people watching. Comment. Tell me where you from. Tell me where you from. What platform you watching on. Let's get to it. But I saw this back and forth, and this is right on the heels. I feel like we've been talking about fucking race and race relations. It's real psyopy right now for me, y'all. It's looking real psyopy. It's looking like a whole bunch of people did a whole bunch of dumb shit, and everybody's ignoring the real culprits. And we're going to talk about who the real culprits are too tonight. Michael Behrens. I'm going to say Behrens. I think that's the proper way of saying it from YouTube. Appreciate you, bro. We have a back and forth here today between, over the last few days, the conversation about race yet again by the deep state, by the media, and as Elon said, we are the media now. Us are now falling right back into the conversation. As much as we want to talk about it was Obama, as much as we want to talk about the Obama administration made race come back to the forefront, as much as we want to talk about that shit, here we are with a Republican president, House and Senate, and now right back up to the forefront, here comes race. And all of the race grifters are jumping right back into it. Mr. Blue Lou Boyle is from Florida. Appreciate you. Okay? We're seeing all of this. And this happened, it started to kick up again. First, it kind of started with the Jews, and now all of the conservative pundits talking about the Jews every couple of minutes. All right? Not the Israeli government and AIPAC, which should be said more thoroughly. And I think there are people that's saying that. But on social media, it's the old, everything is the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jew, 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 Juju, Cameron, Love and Hip Hop. Everything is Juju. Okay? Then, that goes. Now we have this unfortunate death of Austin Metcalf. And when we see this death by Austin Metcalf, now all of the bigots and the bots are jumping out there. We talked about this for the last few days, and I'm low-key tired of it. I was going to wrap it up and stop having these fucking conversations about race because I thought everybody got the point. I thought everybody saw where we was at with this. And today, I see Nick Fuentes go off on Jason Whitlock, whom I unfollowed on Twitter. You know, I used to follow my old page. We followed each other. We followed each other on Instagram, but I got my own issues with Jason Whitlock, and so I unfollowed him yesterday because I was just like, Whitlock on some other shit right now. Okay. And in doing so, I see this morning. Nick Fuentes jumping out there, chopping it up, talking mega shit about Jason Whitlock. Now I got the videos up here, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Everybody hit the like button. Again, comment, let me know where y'all from. I see a lot of y'all like watching without engaging. Okay? I see a lot of y'all like watching without engaging. I guess y'all browser history is a lot of voyeurism, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But I see this video of Nick Fuentes jumping out there, calling Jason Whitlock a token. We're gonna play the video. Valerie Hayter over in Arlington, Virginia. What's up? Lord Destro over in Frederick, Maryland. What's up? Rolo, what's up? What's up? How you? Okay. So we see this video. I see this video and I'm like, damn, I got to communicate again about this race-based shit because I got to make sure that I'm staying on top of this and making sure that I'm getting around the puppeteer's agenda. It's a lot of Geppettos out here. And the Geppettos are smart. And they will use willing and unwilling participants to get their means off. But in the middle of all of that, too, I want to kind of like go in on some of this little young old Nick Fuentes, who I think is an absolute fucking clown. Absolute clown. 1000% clown. A clown that grifts, uses the race narrative. And I got my issues with Jason Whitlock here recently and some of the shit and positions that he's taken. Jason Whitlock's scared to have me on the show again. What's up, Bookworm? And I said this, and you know, this video of Jason Whitlock saying Shamika Michelle who's on the show over there, Fearless, and she had on the Black Guns Matter hoodie. He said, "Oh, you representing our guy Maj? I like Maj, but I handle him with a no, Whitlock. I should be one of your best motherfucking friends because, especially since Royce got kicked off for Fearless and the Fearless regime, I'm one of the only people that's going to go to bat for you and call you the bullshit you say sometimes up the middle without making it personal." So Whitlock, you shouldn't just only like me. You actually should start trying to employ me on certain issues here and there and have perspective. Okay? Because that's what's crazy right now. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep it up the middle. I'm going to keep it nice and objective. Situation by situation is what we do as solutionaries. And I want, after this very, very critical breakdown of this situation and solutions that we apply to it, if you get some value from it, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Support the actual work, guys. The work. The work. George Cole, I think I'm saying that right. Pardon me if I butchered your last name, bro. Said you only ever been real. 100%. Base Capone says, late to the show, 33 people watching, only 14 likes. We need more likes, y'all. Dylan De Jesus over there in Chicago. What's up, y'all? Make sure y'all share the space. Copy and link it. Put it on Facebook. Fazimo says, keeping it objective by calling Nick a clown. 100%. 100%. He's a clown. He's not a clown because that's an objective view. I think he's a fucking clown. When he says something right, I'll tell you where I think Nick Fuentes says some things right. And I think a lot of young people, oh, I'm a clown. Okay, let's get into it. Bring the smoke tonight. Bring the smoke. I can see the Nick Fuentes dick riders. The Groypers are in the space. I can see it. I ain't even say why I think he a clown yet. No, you're already meat gobbling. You're already meat gobbling. And I ain't even say what the situation is. We just warmed it up. And you already jumping in there being a clown. Dick riders. Dick riders. Let's see. The lesser Nick I see, the better. Nick is a clown, no doubt. He gives off racial. Look at this one. We got another meat gobbler. You are a clown. Nick doesn't use the rape narrative. Griff, it's not exactly profitable. It's just the truth and you don't like to hear it. Look at the meat gobblers. The meat gobblers are in full force today. Meat gobblers. But let's walk through the whole situation. Let's go all the way through. What's the name? Gropers? They grope people? I don't even know what that shit mean. It just looks like it's a bunch of young people that hide behind internet shit that never did nothing really in their fucking life. That's super young and getting led by a young clown. That's what I think it is. How you name yourself after groping people? The fuck out of here. Pussies that hide behind internet pages. That's what it looked like to me. But before we get too sidetracked, okay, let's talk about this video here. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit, a couple of days in time. And in the middle of that, let's play how this all planned out. So this video right here is from on Kaiser Rev. I'm pretty sure that's who that. I don't know who this person is. I think that's Fuentes Updates. He do that same shit that, like, what's his name? Andrew Tate does. Get a bunch of other people to promote it, and from fake pages and bot pages. Hey, from a PR standpoint, I could respect it. Okay? I could respect it from a PR standpoint, but from a real life standpoint, it's nothing. It's nothing. But let's play it. Let's start right here. Let's go back and let's play and see what's happening.
Nick Fuentes reacting to Austin Metcalf's murder.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. That's to say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same way. But we watch the news. We read the papers. When you drive downtown in Chicago, you know who you got to.
Let me pause it right there. On 1 minute, they say the media is the worst thing. I agree with that. And let me start for a real quick second. Make criminals afraid again. Let me be very fucking clear. Grown adult men are not down with any type of crime or criminals, violent acts at all unnecessarily. So because these people have this mentality of like somehow all of the blacks are down with crime, as opposed to, never mind the fact that don't nobody else got no gear to say make criminals afraid again. We do. The good, solid men. But these people want to package it as if on one hand say, oh, I don't mean all of the blacks. Okay, if it's not all of the blacks, then why the fuck you keep talking that I don't want to live around blacks, as if you are being forced to be living around anyway. But I'm gonna just go through some of his contradictions. But I'm gonna pop in and out real quick on this, y'all. Let's play a little bit more.
Look out for and worry about when you're thinking about whether you're going to get carjacked, when you're worried about catching a stray bullet, when you're worried about who's going to pull up on the side of the road and literally shove a rifle in your face and steal your iPhone or shoot you point blank, execution style in Lincoln Park. We know who's doing.
Let's not talk about, see, this is where I'm at a hamstring, y'all. I'm in a hamstring because if I start even sounding like I'm saying the same type of goofy shit, if I start to talk about the fact that white males are the most convicted pedophiles in America, they're going to call me racist. And I say that in context to go, what if I started saying this same type of stupid shit? He's talking about shooting people. All of these motherfucking mass shooters happen to be white. A lot of them. The vast majority of them. So one type of violence is okay, but then they say, well, it's the blacks killing the blacks. They pick and choose what it is. They cherry pick. They a la carte with it. Okay? But let's continue.
Doing it. I don't want to live near them. I don't want to be near them. They make me nervous. Unfortunately, we just don't know. When you're on the subway, when you're driving in your car, when you're in the city streets, you don't know whether the black person in proximity to you is one of the good ones or one of the ones who is going to summon an unbelievable, I mean, literally for people like us, an unthinkable level of spontaneous brutality, senseless and merciless violence in an instant. We don't know.
Sounds like a mass shooter to me. Sounds like somebody, maybe a white guy, that goes into a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, and writes a manifesto and says, I'm going in here to kill black people because I know they're unarmed and I hate black people. Sounds like a mass shooter to me. So this argument, and what I'm going to be pushing back against tonight is a lot of the fuck like him that go up for this argument as if you can't point. Don't talk to me about crazy and potential. We just don't know. Jeffrey Dahmer exists. But if I say that, now it's a problem. But before I continue with this, now he's just said, I don't want to live around the blacks. This is what he said a few days ago. Okay? I don't want to live around the blacks. I don't want to live around the blacks. You never know, you never know, you never know. This is what he said a couple of days ago. Now, this right here, let me jump into this before we go forward. Before we go forward, this is the same person, same set, maybe a couple of weeks ago, saying this.
Sam Flee sent $5. Leaving Chicago for OKC was the best decision I ever made. It's the best major city in the country.
Oklahoma City, dude. What are you, on drugs? Yeah, I'm gonna go to Oklahoma. I'm gonna get a big 10-gallon hat. I'm gonna walk around like this. I'm gonna walk around like this with my belt buckle. Hey y'all, I'm in Oklahoma. What are you, high? You think I would ever? I'm gonna live in Oklahoma where it's fucking 10 trillion degrees and the whole state is red? I don't think so. I've never been there, but I don't think so.
So he don't want to live in a red state where it's overall safer. You don't want to live in a red state. But let's continue. You don't want to live around the blacks one day, but you don't want to live around the whites in a red state. The culture, right?
I don't know what's wrong. I actually like liberals. I actually like living near and around liberals. I like living around them. They're cultured. You know, I don't want to eat barbecue all the time, actually. I don't want to eat a bunch of smoked meat in like syrup because that's what's good food down there. You say, what's your specialty? So we smoke meat and then we cover it in syrup. We cover it in sweet and spicy syrup. Oh, that's great. What else you got? Mac and cheese. So that's cheese sauce on noodles. Do I have that right? So you have meat with syrup on top and then pasta and cheese sauce. And that's your specialty. Yup. Okay. Well, you know, I think I'll just stick around here, actually. I think lattes, actually. I think I'll take the matcha. I think I'll stick with the lattes and the avocado toast and all that.
Sam Flee sent $5. Leaving Chicago for OKC was the best decision I ever made.
I'll stick with the matcha. I'll stick with the avocado toast. I like the liberals. This the same motherfucker that just said, I don't want to live around the blacks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Same person a week ago. Well, however many days ago. 1 minute, oh, I don't want to live around the blacks. Then the next minute, oh, I want to be around the liberals. What? The blue cities are liberals. That's urban. That's black. But let's play a little bit more what he's talking about on Fearless, because I need to drop that in there for a little bit of showing you how these people grift. They like politicians. They just choose when they want to change, as if we can't pull up the receipts about what they said. No intellectual consistency. Just a new grift now. Since the Austin Metcalf thing died, never mind the fact that his dad said, do not make this about race. It was not about race. The first thing they do is turn it into race. They get mad at him, the dad, for saying, don't make this about race. That's not what it was. Dad's a Christian. Dad says, hey, he did something. He made a bad choice. My son is dead. This ain't about race. They getting mad at him, but it just wants to be, you know, you're getting mad at him for wanting to do the right thing. But anyway, now he doesn't want to be around the blacks. Let's play a little bit more.
There's ambiguity. You're sitting on a subway. You look across. You see someone acting strange or aggressive. Is this someone who is going to pull out a knife and in 2 seconds slit my throat and kill me? Or is this just someone who's having a bad day? We don't know. I'm not willing to risk my life to find out. It's not worth it to me. I'm not willing to put myself in a position to find out.
This is the same person that just said, yo, I don't want to move to a red state. I prefer liberal decay. Liberal white politicians create urban decay. So that's the first base and panel of this conversation. Just to point back, because some of y'all earlier in the chat was bitching that I said he's a clown. Anybody that doesn't have a standard principle, that's why the Constitution is a solid litmus test. The Constitution and natural rights is a solid litmus test for everybody because it's a standard. We don't deviate from the Constitution in limiting government when COVID shows up or a massive earthquake. No, we stick to the Constitution because we're principled, intellectually consistent. Okay? So this person is like, oh, I don't want to live around the blacks. When most of America, everybody says most of America's white. Oh, it's white. It's white. America's a white country. White, white, white. Cool. Move to Iowa. Iowa is fucking wonderful and peaceful. Certain parts of Washington, the Pacific Northwest, fucking Florida, Palm Beach. I've been in all of these places. I love it. Martha's Vineyard is immaculate. Yeah, but he don't want to, not Martha's Vineyard, because that's where the rich blacks are. Okay? But this person just hops back and forth, and I wanted to set that tone for you goofballs. I am older than all of you, and I recognize I've been outside. You pussies never even been outside. You pussies, this pussy here is talking about, I don't know what would happen if I'm on the train. That's why you got a gun, motherfucker. You victim. You victim pussy. Oh, I don't know. We'll talk all of that hiding shit from in your mom's basement, streaming. Never been outside, but yet and still want to live. Oh, I need my avocado toast. That sound like some. Oh man, you the biggest level of pussy, and leading other pussies. Never done anything. But before we get too far on that, that's how it started. And Jason Whitlock decided to say, I'm going to critique what he just said. I'm going to critique what he just said. And so this is what Jason Whitlock said in response to that. And that, let me be very clear. I know Jason. I've been on Jason's show a bunch of times. I think Jason right now is tap dancing for some reason. Okay? He tap dancing for some reason. I have no idea why. No idea. But he is right now. It is what it is. But let's listen to what Whitlock says about this.
What he just said is difficult to hear. It's not the proper reaction, but it's not insanity. And the reason I say that, and look, this is the first time I believe I've ever talked about Nick Fuentes in any detail on this show, because I really hadn't paid much attention to him. And then I've been forced to pay some attention to him and the gropers movement or whatever. And a lot of that has to do with the Christ is King debate. I've had to look into it. But I get his response, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe it was in 1993. Jesse Jackson, the leader of the Rainbow Coalition, the wannabe heir to Martin Luther King, said more concisely the exact same thing Nick Fuentes just said there. And Jesse Jackson, I believe, terrible leader, a heretic, a fraud, but he said the exact same thing. This is a very famous quote from Jesse Jackson. I want to read the whole thing in its entirety. He said, we must face the number one critical issue of our day. It is youth crime in general, crime in particular. Nothing more painful to me at this stage in my life than to walk down the street and hear footsteps and start thinking about robbery. Then look around and see somebody white and feel relieved. After all we have been through, just to think we can't walk down our own streets. How humiliating. I learned to track that. I remember this. I lived through Jesse Jackson saying this. I thought it happened in the 1980s. The best sourcing I could find said he said this in 1993, but I thought it was in the 1980s. And what he said there, and he got in a lot of trouble, and the liberal media jumped down his throat and made him backpedal and made, oh, this is terrible. How dare you say this? Don't you know white people are to blame for everything? But Jesse Jackson said basically the same thing Nick Fuentes said last night. And both of them, heretics. And I'm not saying that there's no one that I know, regardless of color, who hasn't had those thoughts flash through their head. You can't pay attention to the news cycle. You can't be from the communities where black on black is rampant. Anytime you go into a black nightclub, you got to go through a metal detector before they let you in. You can't socialize.
See, I gotta stop. I gotta stop for a second, y'all, because I'm letting Jason get off, right? Because I want to build a storyline. But let me be very clear. That statement that he just made, and this is the overall problem. He just said you can't go to a black nightclub because you get patted down because da-da-da-da-da. When you go to a fucking Eagles game, when you go to a hockey game, a Flyers game in a stadium, there's metal detectors and pat downs because it's a no-gun zone. Bars across the country, any establishment that makes 50% or more of their revenue, even if they are bar and grill, you can't take a firearm in there unless generally, okay? So this argument that like, oh, only in the black community is there, you can't go into the whatever. Yet in the same time, right? All of these arguments about fucking, oh, the mass shootings, to this, to that, to da. Every community has a problem with violence. When I posted a few days ago, I said America has a violence problem. And I'm a firearms instructor. Telling you there's issues outside. Mugger, fuck. Violence. You fucking mass shooter or just some dude beefing over shit in the street and the round goes the wrong place. You know, both of these sides are it's them. And a lot of times right now what we see is so-called conservative pundits going, oh, it just happens, it's just in the black community. But in the same time, when we start looking at all of the mass shooters, but they don't do that. They want to bring up the per capita conversation, but we can't have a per capita conversation about global, all of that. We can't do it. We can't say, well, white people got us, the right now is ran by white people. Number one. They have us in more wars and are destroying the earth and war and famine. And take it off of Trump. Let's go back to Biden. Ukraine, Russia. Shut the fuck up. When white dudes get drunk, just like black dudes, and start fighting, when BLM starts rioting over stupid fucking shit, and then when the hockey team or the Phillies, where I'm from, wins a championship and we start breaking shit, stop. This narrative that it's only a part of one group is a fucking lie. And right now, Whitlock is doing the same fucking thing that Fuentes and others, the Matt Walshes, all of these people are doing the same thing, acting like it's them, all pandering to the low IQ following that they have. No high thought, no solutions, no any of that. None of that. Because, okay, if this is all true, let's say it's all true. All of the blacks, 50% of them might be violent thugs and animals like they trying to package it. Not whites, just the blacks. Let's go with that. Okay, what are you going to do about it? What you going to do? You going to lock up the black people preemptively? You going to genocide the black people? You going to what are you proposing? What work do you do in these communities? Cuz I can stand tall on the work in the community center that I have. I can stand tall on the violent crime in my city has been going down when we work and concentrate there. I can stand tall on all of the areas and cities where we were consistently doing the work. Gun ownership went up and violent crime went down over the last 6 years. I can say that because of the work that we actually do. The work. These people talk this narrative, but what solution do they have for it? What work have they put in to help America? Seems to me like all they're doing is figuring out a way to get a nice little, let me get the lowest bigoted versions for Whitlock, and Fuentes goes off on here a little bit further, right? Whitlock, he says the things that the bigots that may be white get to say it's not racist because Whitlock said it. They used to do the same thing with fucking Candace. Candace pivoted though. Candace said, okay, this ground right here about to shrink. Let me jump on this. Candace went and act like she was going to go so black and blackety black. Went on a whole tour run when she got fired from the Daily Wire. All black media. Breakfast Club. Come on, bro. It's a smart pivot, but I see the pivot. They like J-Lo. Whatever one is giving them the energy at that moment, that's what they do. So Whitlock is in here saying, yeah, it's the black nightclubs. As if fraternities and frat boys don't exist getting drunk at the frat house in college. Stop. Stop. These are the same people that say, oh, we all American when convenient. Stop. It's Cat. And Jason right now tap dancing hard as shit. Hard as shit.
In those environments, have family in those environments, have love or been injured in violence. You can't live in a world where every black person thinks, or the majority of black people think, as soon as I make it, I'm moving away into a white suburb.
Nobody fucking thinks that. Nobody thinks that. When you get money, I've made multiple millions of dollars. We don't think I'm getting away from the blacks. It's not what we do. We go, yo, them houses is nice as shit over there. I want one over there. I want a house over there. Okay? I'm going over it, man, because of the houses and the build. Because maybe that state or that big city doesn't have fucking income tax. Hello, Texas. Hello, Florida. I get $1 million, man. I'm moving over. I get 10 million. I'm getting a $2 million house. Okay, that's what's happening over there. Nobody's going. I got to get away from the black people. I got to get away. That's not what the fuck happens. That's Cat.
You can't live in this world without having the thoughts that Jesse Jackson expressed years ago and that Nick Fuentes just expressed last night. And what ties Jesse Jackson, Nick Fuentes, and we can go all the way back even further in history. What ties it all together is we've never tried the proper solution. We've never, rather than give in to bigotry, rather than to give in to skin color bias, we've never legitimately fought back against a culture that has been installed by Hollywood, the music industry, the idols set up in the culture. We've never said, hey, men, black, white, those of you that believe in Jesus Christ, let's come together under that umbrella. Let's come together under Christian culture and obedience to Jesus Christ. We've never tried that. as the solution.
That's bullshit. That's 1000% bullshit, Jason. That's 1000% bullshit. I get what he's trying to say with Jesse Jackson said something similar, and it was dumb when fucking Jesse Jackson said it. It's fucking dumb and pussy as well when Fuentes said it. And again, Fuentes is the same one. I played the video. Y'all can go back. Same one that said, I like living around liberals. Liberal policies is the one that created decay. So which the fuck one is it? This argument that like when an athlete that's bust his ass to get out of a place that is a liberal policy filled fucking shithole. New York went from looking shitty to looking good to now it's a shithole again because of liberal policies. Don't tell me that the people and the religion, they never tried it. The black community before liberal policies was one of the most conservative Christian Southern Baptist motherfucking places that you want to be. When you in the South and them nice ass people that still got some of that energy on them, you're like, man, if you're from the North like me, the Northeast, you go down South and you're like, man, these people nice as hell because they still got Southern hospitality under the Bible Belt. So don't tell me that the American people haven't utilized that. You're just saying that for your argument now at the moment. Don't talk about it wasn't. No, and then to get back on Nick, let's be real clear. The Christian situation, what they call Christian, some of them, I ain't talking about, I know solid fucking white people. I know solid. Dan and Cheryl Tide are from Phoenix, Arizona, are some of the most salt of the earth people, and their daughter and their son-in-law, Jay and Cassie, are some of the most salt of the earth people. I can't go through Phoenix without trying to touch base with them. Pot of gold auctions. I can't do it because they some of the best fucking people I ever met in my fucking life. Period. And they white as hell. So don't tell me this whole, oh, it's both sides it's kicking this bullshit. But some white people also used Christianity, and what did they make? The fucking Ku Klux Klan. There was good Christians and fucking horrible pieces of shit wrapping that bullshit up in Christian cloth. Stop. So don't act like people didn't utilize Christianity as a solution at certain points. That's cap. It's 1000% cap. But I get it. I get Jason's play. I get Jason's play. I understand it. I see Jason's play. It's not hard to see. Jason Whitlock, from my understanding, and I could be wrong. I think Jason Whitlock's contract over at the Blaze is about to be up. I think he's about to try to figure out his pivot too. Again, like I said earlier, Candace was smart. She pivoted a little bit early. And she might have preemptively said that Jewish thing, knowing how Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire would respond. Maybe. And again, I ain't got nothing against Candace. We call it objectively. Got nothing against her. I could call when she on stupid shit, like for the vast majority of her talk career she was, and I could call it when she right. We're supposed to be able to do that as solutionaries. Okay? But Whitlock's making his next pivot now. That's what it looked like to me. And now he's trying to figure out that next way. So then he says that back to Fuentes. And then this is what Fuentes actually says. This is what he says. Let's play this.
You know, I saw Jason Whitlock responded to my clip, and I actually happen to like Jason Whitlock a lot. I really respect him. I respect his piety. I respect his belief in God. I have the utmost respect for him. I really do. I follow him. I like his content. I engage with it consistently. I think he's really a solid guy. I have nothing but nice things to say about him.
That's a fucking lie. It's a lie, and the parts that he accepts, and it's going to be, I'm not saying, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm going to show you in the video shortly how that is, Cat. Period. But he's saying this right now, trying to play political, and I get it. Because he wants some room to still be in. Listen, Fuentes he gotta continue to get more fucking young, stupid people that want to blame everything on race. That's what they do. They're like a feeder fund. They're like a Ponzi scheme. They're like a fake conservative Ponzi scheme. They got to always get new feeders to feed the bullshit. Because if people grow up and as they become more intelligent, they see through the grift. They see through the bullshit. And I don't even like that word grift because it's overused. If you sell things, they say you grifting. If you do nonprofit work, they say you grifting. So I got to be careful with that word. But I 100% see what's happening. They got to consistently get more stupid people, because if somebody starts to understand what limited government conservatism is, they understand America, they understand the Constitution, they understand that this was supposed to be a place of you get to be whatever you want, whether you're Asian American, Irish American, so-called African American, so-called white American. You're under this ideal and you grow. So it's hard to get that person that is evolving to still buy into this, oh, I don't want to live around the blacks, or I don't want to live around the whites, as if any groups of people are a monolith. So they have to keep finding feeder funds to get new biased and bigoted people to buy in. Same thing as Jason. The low IQ whites that want to say certain shit that won't say it in real life, right? They'll go, it's not racist. Jason Whitlock said it. And I get it. I get it. But no, Nick Fuentes doesn't respect Jason Whitlock. He was playing that game because Fuentes doesn't have anywhere to go. And more people are going to leave. Hardworking Americans that actually do work, because none of these people look like they did enough of hard day's work in their life. They don't look like they lift shit. They don't look like the fucking white longshoremen and black longshoremen and oil workers and fucking construction men. The electricians, the fucking garbage men. They don't look like that. They look like pretty. Fuentes just said, I want my avocado toast. I need to be around my liberal cities and friends, so you can keep complaining about it and never doing anything to change it, because you don't know how to change it. You don't got the balls to change it. You just whine on the internet about it. And I get to talk about it on the internet and do the fucking work. My position has been cemented. Our work is in the Bruin decision. Supreme Court, motherfucker. We American history. Okay? But I can't say the same for everybody else. And I see the bullshit. So no, he initially right here was trying to play the friendly role, because maybe I could work something. Because now, since more bigotry is getting more accepted, maybe I could work something up with Blaze. Maybe I could have. That's what that energy was right there. But let's listen a little bit more.
I think he's a very good man. I don't know him personally, but from what I can tell, I think he's a very solid guy. But he responded to my clip and he said that I am pushing the same that Jesse Jackson did. And he said it's not necessarily, he says he can understand where I'm coming. Jackson had a quote in 1993 where he said something similar, that when he hears footsteps behind him walking down the city streets, he gets nervous thinking it's a brother, and he turns around and is relieved when it's a white person. He said, so he gets.
Let me pause it right there. If you think that, you're a bitch. If you think that, you're a bitch. If you think, oh, I'm so relieved on either side. If you're a person and you get relieved that, oh, it's a white behind me. If you're a white person and gets relieved that, oh, it's a black behind me. If you're a man and you're not thinking about personal protection, self-defense, and I already watched my six, and I already paid attention to situational awareness. I already saw what was happening. And I trained, so regardless of what color the person is that's behind me that's trying to do harm, it's going to be quick, violent, and I'm going to be out of there. That's the thought process that men are supposed to have. Not, oh, I'm relieved that you're not the person that I perceive that won't harm me. Victim mentality, literally, is what that is. Victim mentality. Is this someone that'll help make me safe? I'll eat your fucking face off. Fuck with me. Black, white, Spanish, Asian. If you cool, you cool. If you ain't, you ain't. You try to fuck with me, I will fucking cut your fucking skin off and wear it every fucking day, annually, on the day that I fucking took you out. because you tried to stop me from existing, chasing my freedom, life, liberty, in the pursuit of happiness and property. I'll scoop your fucking eyeballs out and mix them shits with my Greek yogurt and blueberries. You pussy. Okay? You fucking pussy. And people misconstrue that as anger and I'm mad. No. That's just a matter of fact. I will water your fucking lawn. I will water my lawn with your fucking sweat and blood. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's a strong man's perspective. Not, let's play some more.
He says, black people say it, white people say it. He says there's some truth in it. And Jason says the real solution to the problem is that we need to reach these black people with Christian faith. We need to inculcate them in the Christian religion. And I actually understand where he's coming from, because I can imagine that if you are black, you empathize on some level. If you come from that world, if you come from that community, and you know people that are in that world, part of that sort of way of life, I can understand why he would have more empathy for gangbangers, for, you know, these black kids that are lost to the street.
It's not what the fuck Whitlock said. It's not what he said at all. It's not what he said at all. He said we should try Christ. Christ preached about, yo, you ain't got a sword? Sell that fucking cloak. Buy a sword. What are you talking about? It's not what it's not. See, y'all bought into this thought process that Christ is supposed to be this sweet dude. Never mind the fact that he was knocking over tables. See, y'all got the game fucked up. And that's not what Whitlock said. Whitlock didn't say, oh, I have an affinity. I don't have an affinity towards criminals. I don't. Make criminals afraid again. You should be afraid. Just know, you try the wrong shit with me, I'm gonna enjoy fucking you over. So no, that's not true. It's another lie.
Streets than white people do. In the same way, honestly, honest to God, let's be fair. Let's be absolutely fair that white people have sympathy for the people who are problematic in our group. Which is to say, when you look at a school shooter or something, when you look at an Elliot Rodger, when you look at someone like this, let's just be fair. A lot of white people do say, well, you know, so-and-so was bullied. When we look at incels, when we look at right-wing extremists, we say, well, hey, white people are being pushed to the brink. Well, white people are being radicalized on the internet. Well, white people... And you can understand how when white people commit a crime, white people want to talk about the root causes.
Two things to that. I don't know none of my solid white homies that say that shit. Tell me in the chat. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Maj is just around fucking too many solid dudes. I don't know any white dude. Yeah, that guy's a white criminal, so we kind of understand. Tell me in the chat. My white solutionaries, let me know. A bearded cyclops from the Solutionary Nine was in here. They happen to be fucking white. Bobby was raised in Baltimore. I could never in my mind think that Bobby or bearded cyclops would be like, yeah, well, he had a run up, so that's why he's a mass shooter. That's another cop-out. And here's the other part to this cop-out. You're just proving my point, which is there are bad people in the black and the white community. We only talking about black and white because color-wise, on a spectrum, they're the opposite ends. You're saying, oh, there are mass shooters and this. He just keeps contradicting himself. 1 minute is, I don't want to live around the blacks because the vast majority of them are killers. Then going, no, I can understand that there's killers here and there's killers there. And then he lies and says, oh, most white people will be cool and give them the pass because of that. It's back-to-back contradiction. And it's not true. Somebody tell, who white in this? See, this is the thing. I don't even know. If I ain't see you, I don't even know if you white. I know bearded cyclops. I know them. Okay? But if you happen to be white in the space right now, comment, hey, white dude, I'm a white dude here. I'm not giving a pass to a fucking mass shooter and a criminal and a rapist. Come on now.
Whereas non-whites say that's indicative of how we're evil, we're a menace. And I can understand on the flip side how that's also true. How when black people see black perpetrators of violence, they want to talk about root causes. They want to say our young black people are not being given a chance. They're not being given the gospel. They're being poisoned by the media. That's why I can understand why he's more empathetic. And on some level,
that is you can't just leave this, you can't just take out the output and not look at the input. Everything that you're looking at you should look at the root cause of anything, of any race. See, this is why these people are fucking morons to me. So when I started the space saying I think he's a clown, because when you just start to peel back one of the layers of the dumb shit, okay, he says some things that make sense. Okay, cool. So does the fucking leftist. Okay? But when you start peeling back that onion, you go, wait a minute. So, I could see why they want to get to the root cause, because you're supposed to get to the root cause. When you stop taking drugs, or if you stop smoking cigars or cigarettes, most people, when they break that habit, they start eating more. Because the issue isn't cigars or cigarettes or food. The issue is addiction. The root cause is you have not enough discipline to solve the problem of addiction. Any problem has to be solved by the root causes, and there's nuance to each thing. But when low IQ people, the lowest common denominator of all racial backgrounds, doesn't understand nuance, they rush right to race as the thing. And this does not mean because I want to understand the root cause that means I'm going to legitimately go, oh, well, give this guy a pass because the root causes. There's a nuance, which means, on one hand, here are the things that created this thing. But at the end of it, you as the individual did the thing. This isn't complicated. It only sounds deep to people that ain't deep thinkers from the gate.
I agree with him. I think that is ultimately the solution. The ultimate way to reconcile all of our differences and iniquity in the world is to be Christian. I absolutely agree with him on that. But I think where I disagree, and this is my disagreement, although I respect him, it's a respectful disagreement. I think everybody would be a lot more comfortable if we first established order. That is the problem. People are afraid. People are terrified. This is an unacceptable state of affairs. And when I hear what Jason Whitlock says, forgive the comparison, because I don't mean this in a nasty way. But it doesn't, to me, sound much different than what Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, says. The mayor of Chicago, we have a real problem here in this city. And the Black Teachers Union, mayor of Chicago, says it's about root causes, creating opportunity for young people. That's always the line. It's always investing in the youth, mentoring the youth, programs for the youth, this sort of thing. It's the root causes versus
actual solutions. Actual solutions. You got to do both. There's a joke that Bill Burr said. He said, when firemen put out a fire, they don't just drive away. They actually find out what started the fire. They solve the fire, and they get to the root cause to understand it.
Law enforcement approach. And I agree. I think that we need a reset. We need a hard reset with Black people. They're in this very toxic cycle that's certainly not making things better. I don't know if that's the only reason, but it's certainly not improving things. But we need to reestablish order first.
Order.
You need to get the worst of the worst off the streets and behind bars. First, you need to put police and the military back in these communities. So
now the conservative wants more government. Not programs, not solutions, not getting it and still holding people accountable that do the thing. But we need to throw a blanket issue because you're Black in this community, you might be one of the bad ones. So now asking so-called conservatives, what? No, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what he is. Maybe he's a conservative, maybe a liberal. Who knows? But now you're asking for more of that. But anyway, let's get back to let me speed past all of this bullshit. Let me speed up a little bit. Because I'm tired of hearing this fucking corny ass voice.
A lot of Black people in The solution would be a lot of cops in black neighborhoods. The solution would be a lot of black people getting the shit kicked out of them on a body cam by a cop because they resist arrest. Cops got to protect themselves.
This is the more not in white communities that do crime, just the black communities. Anyway. He says all of this shit because I'm kind of over that part. I'm over the back and like, come on. He says all of that, and then that's his respectful disagreement. Respectful disagreement. He says that, cool, no problem with that. He says that, he makes that that is what his issue is. He says, hey, I respectfully disagree. I think it's this, whoop-de-whoop, yada, yada, yada. Okay? So it's done there. Then Fuentes says this. So tired of hearing that black crime is caused by black culture. For some reason, rap music doesn't make white people steal cars and shoot people. It only works on black people. So now he's right back to the whole race-based thing. Even though we just said, there's mass shooters in the white community and da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Right back to it. Let me ask Nick. Nick, who swatted your house? Was it the blacks? Why did he have to move? Was it because of the blacks? Why'd you have to move, Nick? Because the blacks. Was it the blacks in the liberal city that you like with the avocado toast? Is that what happened? Oh, no, it wasn't. So he says this. For some reason, the blacks, da-da-da, black music, da-da-da-da. And then Whitlock says this. You're every bit as godless and as your critics say. And he is. Ray Epps 2.0, pointing foolish believers into a building that will burn them down for eternity. Many of the people captured by the wickedness of that culture can claim ignorance. You know exactly what you're doing, demon. The enemy is paying people to promote racial division and conflict. I've been saying that's like over the weekend. This Austin Metcalf case, as I've seen so many bots and so many PR firms hire fucking right of center pundits to just push this absolute race-based bullshit. And they know better. A lot of them know better. But they've been pushing it. They've been pushing it. Now we're not all Americans. Now the blacks need we tired of living around. All of that. Cool. Then go move to fucking Iowa. But again, Nick doesn't want to move outside of the avocado. I need the avocado toast. I need my matcha. The enemy's paying people on social media to promote racial division and conflict. The aftermath of Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony is a psyop. Don't fall for it. Stand on the word. Rebuke any so-called believer not pointing to Christ. That's what he says to him. And all of that fucking, I respect Jason Whitlock. I respect Jason. I blah, 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 blah. All of that shit goes out of the fucking window. Why and when does it go out of the window? It goes out of the window when Nick Fuentes decides to say about Jason Whitlock.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can.
Ain't he Mexican? I thought he was Mexican. But what happened to all of the respect? He didn't call him. Whitlock didn't call him a name. Whitlock said, you pushing some bullshit and some devilish shit, some race-based shit. Went right from, hey, I respect Whitlock and da-da-da-da-da, went right to that to, you fucking token. I told y'all, he never respected Jason Whitlock. He doesn't. He said it when it was convenient to make it sound like maybe he was fuck out of here. And them devils can't contain. They hate. Hill told us about this. Them energies, them devils. They use the church, they use the school, they use the government, they use the punditry. And that's what Fuentes is. This fake, oh, I'm just telling the truth. No, you're not. Because the vast majority of all Americans are just good people trying to pay their fucking bills. They're not worried about, let me get over on the whites. Let me get over on the blacks. It's not what happens. Maybe you need to travel, but see, people like him can't travel. But oh, you want to dick ride Kanye every 20 minutes, every chance you get. You want to dick ride you friends with Bison. You want to dick ride these people every chance you get. Let's play some more.
Can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze, host.
We want to be able to say the most vile shit. And this argument is, I want to be able to say vile shit with no consequences. I want to, yeah, when they say pal, when the bigots say pal, they really upset. Pal, buddy, pal. Okay? This is what I'm telling you. You want to be able to say the conversations the way that you want to say them with no repercussions. And you do get to say these things with or without repercussions. Just because Whitlock is able to do it and it's like, oh, you're a token. Here's the funny thing about that. Tokens have a use. No one even wants to tokenize Fuentes. It doesn't, it's no use. You're useless. If you can't be used, you're useless. First, you should use yourself. Then you should be used in service of your value, your faith, your values, and your community and your family, no doubt. But you can't even be used because you're useless. You can't even be used. And you're mad. Look at that studio that you had. You can see the hate. Just, I'm mad. I got this one little thing in the background. But you got employees. I don't have the black privilege, so now we acting like blacks got privilege. On one level we don't, and in the next level we do. Which one is it? Contradictions, back to back to back contradictions all day long with these victim mentality people on the right that pretend all day they talked about how people on the left so fucking victim blame, victim mentality. All of this shit he's saying right now is 1000% victim mentality.
Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good fucking thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaffer.
Another
You would
clown.
have been fired like every other white person. Everybody knows that. Take a good look at everything around you, because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. They feel sorry. They need a black person to give them credibility.
How could you say you respect, if you thought this and you knew this the whole time, 2 days ago you just said, I respect Jason Whitlock. How could you respect somebody? I don't respect Nick Fuentes. I don't respect a lot of the takes that Jason Whitlock has. I'm not gonna, now that I can't be on your platform, and now that no, I was on Jason's platform and on his spaces arguing against his perspective. If I don't respect it, I don't respect it. Now all of a sudden you lost respect for me because he a token. No, that's how you felt the whole time, champ. Because you a bigot. And to say that, oh, Whitlock didn't earn it. Whitlock has been a writer, commentator, and a sports journalist. Whitlock know that sports shit. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. He know that shit. He's been a writer for decades, probably longer than Fuentes has been alive, in my opinion. But saying he didn't earn it based on building a following, that's cat. That's bullshit.
And if you can't see that, then you're just as ignorant as BLM. If you can't see that, if you can't be honest with yourself about that, you're just as ignorant as the marchers. Just another ignorant crybaby. And you know what? I have no hatred. I really don't. I'm a little bit frustrated with the fact that people are going to challenge my credibility based on what I say, knowing what I've sacrificed, what has happened to me, what has happened to my family. And I'm not trying to play the world's smallest violin, but my sacrifice has been considerable. I have had a considerably more difficult go than almost anybody because I was willing to tell the truth before it's fashionable about Israel.
Ron Paul was willing to tell the truth before it was fashionable. For 40 years, Ron Paul has figured out a way to talk about these issues with Israel and the Israeli government without coming off bigoted. Ron Paul was able to be critical about the American government murdering babies without coming off bigoted. Ron Paul was able to have these conversations decades ago, before most of the people that are even in this space were alive. You've made no sacrifice, and if you did make a sacrifice, that's what happens. I've made sacrifices. I didn't jump on any of these situations when I could have went all the way to extreme right wing and not address certain things. I didn't do that. That's what comes with it when you principled. You understand? Thomas Massey has made sacrifices and been disciplined and stuck to the path without coming off like a fucking jerk. Okay? That's what has happened. So this, I'm not playing the world's smallest violin. Yes, you are. You didn't make a sacrifice. You made a choice. You made a choice. Your choice was to play the race narrative. Oh, the blacks. Because it was fruitful for you at a certain point. Now you've created your island. Now you just got to deal with the island that you created. Welcome to adulthood, buddy, pal. That's what it is, pal. Come on, pal.
Israel,
buddy.
About race, about globalization, about a wide variety of subjects. Ever since I was 18 years old, I have been censored. I have been financially blacklisted, had to endure financial hardship. I've been targeted. My family's been targeted. So for somebody to come and challenge my credibility or whether I'm being honest, it's totally outrageous. I have no hatred in my heart for people. I have no hatred in my heart for anybody, for that matter, and not for a group based on their race. And I have friends from all different races. It's not hatred.
I have black friends.
You know, we can't play that card all the time and bitch about racism every single time. With that being said, and it's important to clarify that because you don't want to be typecast as the angry white man that's trying to gin up. I'm not trying to gin up racial resentment. I'm really not. I'm trying to tell you how white people feel. And I'm trying to tell you the truth. And here's the truth of the matter. White people are just fucking done. We're done with the excuses. We're done with the white guilt. We are done with crybaby, ethnic narcissist black people that cannot handle an adult conversation about race. We're done. We pay up the ass in property taxes not to live near these people.
Same guy said he would prefer living in liberal cities. Just got to keep tapping that in there.
We work hard. We pay our taxes. We go to work. We work our fingers to the bone to create a good quality of life for ourselves and for our families. And it has been ceaselessly sabotaged for decades by these fucking animals. And by that, I don't mean every black person. I mean these predators. I mean these opportunists. I mean these adolescents. Where are the parents? Where's the community now? Where are they? I'm talking about these young adolescent men, black men, that film themselves running over a physics professor on his bike in New Mexico, laughing and kill him. I'm talking about the young black men that break into 20 businesses in Downers Grove overnight and loot the cash registers. I'm talking about the teen takeovers. the gangbangers. We don't want to live near this stuff anymore. And we all know what's going on. We all know who's doing it. We all know what it is. And we're sick and tired of black people not being able to be honest about it, not being able to take any responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. It's always some white person's fault. It's racism. It's poverty. It's the culture. It's the New Deal, the great...
I just got to stop, solutionaries. Listen, let me say this. For someone that says it's about building and heritage, he seems to be focused a lot on black people that he cannot control, and or he sounds like the white person that is just back-to-back contradictory. You don't want to live around red, conservative. You said it. You don't want to do that. You want to be in the middle of where you can tend to be the problem. You don't want to get out of that. You don't present solutions to it. You say it's not about race, but that's all you fucking talk about. And again, I am super, super not okay with how Whitlock has been moving around this. I disagree with what Whitlock is saying around this Austin Metcalf situation. We just got one initial police report. That's it. That's it. And I helped fundraise for the Metcalf family because the Metcalf family is dealing with death as Americans. I am not advocating for let's stop Carmelo Anthony from having a strong amount of resources to have a legal defense fund, because my balance is the Constitution, and that's principle. I know the owner and founder of Give Send Go. They financed Daniel Penny to the tune of $3 million. They financed Derek Chauvin for millions of dollars. Not my cup of tea, but they have a right to have a legal defense fund. So I'm not rushing to this fucking the race hustler game. The race hustler game, while saying it's not about race. And I have black friends, I have white friends. It's done. That's what most Americans are over. Most Americans are over that. You can be rich off of pandering to this small island of the minority in whatever background. If you're an Asian person and you're racist towards white people, right? You can make millions of dollars by making that your island. You can galvanize people around hate, but you know what you can't do? You can't solve the actual problem. You can whine about it. You won't move to Iowa. You won't move to Florida. You won't move to Beverly Hills. You won't. You want to complain about we're so tired of it and it just doesn't all of this other shit, but no actual. Then to turn around and say, oh, but Jason Whitlock didn't earn it and he's a token and all of this that's bullshit. Bookworm said it best right here. Calling Jason a token is absurd. If white men can't say what they want, who is stopping them? Because it sure isn't black men controlling the media. Oh, let me guess. It's somebody else's fault. Guess it's the Jews, the white Jews. This is the biggest level of fucking, like, the level of contradiction and absolute absurdity and mental gymnastics that I'm watching over this situation is just like, and I'm seeing a lot of these right-leaning conservative pundits do the exact same thing that the left does. They sound like fuck. You're right. Jews aren't white. Darth the Nationalist said Jews aren't white. Right. Globally, they are not. Ethiopian Jews, Russian Jews. I'm talking about black Russians. Right. I have friends that live in Jerusalem and have shown videos of so many Jewish people that aren't necessarily white. So even that, you blaming that on black people too? This has to stop. Not because I want him to be quiet. I want him to talk all the shit he talk. I want all of these people to talk all of the shit that they want to talk. And this is what we should do as solutionaries. This is what we should do. I am not of the belief that we should take any of these people seriously. You shouldn't. Shouldn't take any of these people seriously. They whine. They don't do anything. I am of the belief that we should let every single person be who they are, watch them and go, not going to be that. I believe that if you see issues in your community, if you happen to want to live in a liberal city, you should become politically involved to change policy in liberal cities. I don't like that at my home, if they put up a private, on private property. If the protesters want to be on private property, no, I start communicating with the owners of that property and we get those people removed, because I don't want you fucking up my shit. That's a policy that already exists. If I don't like the schooling in a community, our community center in the middle of North Philly, we start hosting homeschool groups, because if we say, oh man, this is horrible, the school system and the education system is horrible. Huge shouts to Donald Trump for trying to get rid of the Department of Education. Now, even though they only do 13% of the financing for schools nationally, but they are involved in a whole lot of the goddamn, what do you call it, loans. They are. So we change these things through policy instead of whining about it. You whining about it and complaining while being contradictory is some of the most bitch-made shit on the planet. And objectivity is saying, even though I'm not feeling how Jason Whitlock is handling this, I'm not going to act like, meaning the more recent talks and discussions, I disagree with a lot of his takes. But what I'm not going to do is pretend like he didn't earn his spot. He's been in the game in media, sports media, journalism, whatever, and now political commentary for years, decades, since the 90s. These are the things that we have to have an honest conversation about it. But we should also tap out. Ignore the fucking morons. They are on an island, and not even the people at CPAC that let a lot of shit slide want to engage these fucking people, because nobody takes them serious. And you shouldn't take them serious either. And if that continues to be the road that Jason Whitlock goes down, you shouldn't take him serious either. I don't care what your race is. Stop. Stop it. It's retarded. White people got problems. Black people got problems. Asian people got problems. Latin people got problems. Okay? Potentially, he's a potential Fed. Fuentes, potential Fed. Got off while the actual patriots were actually caught up in the bullshit. He somehow snuck away. Come on, man. Y'all got to be able to see this shit. Highlight the people that have consistently for years, even if they change up a bit. I've been on InfoWars. I love what Alex Jones has, brought to the table. We talk about people putting work in. Alex Jones was doing this before it was fucking fashionable. And even I don't agree with some of his takes, right? I don't agree with some of his takes now, but I'm not going to ignore all of the work. Alex Jones was the one talking about globalists and the lizard people and Bohemian Grove since the 90s. Hip hop artists in the 90s were going, this dude is what it's at. Okay? This is what we have to highlight. The people that are actually doing things, founding new ideas, and trying to figure out a way to bring people together. The enemy is not another American per se, because of their skin tone or not. The enemy is the state. The enemy's the state. And all of this arguing about all of this other shit, have we got the second binders from the Epstein list, client list? No. Has the IRS, has the FBI, Kash Patel said on the Ryan show, if I was in charge over there day one, half of that would be a museum. Has the FBI, that section, been made a museum yet? No. Has income tax been repealed? Has the IRS been significantly gutted? No. And this does not just fall on Trump. I'm going to be very clear. This is Congress. This is Republicans. Republicans got the House and the Senate and the executive branch. These are the conversations that happen when we start focusing on things that are downstream from the real issues. And I get it. Some people want to make sure that it's that, and I get it. That's cool. I understand. But for those of you that are actually solutionaries and want to do something, we're here with you, and we stand with you. And I don't care what your race is. The race conversation, it's cat. 99.9% of the time, it's cat. Anyway, y'all, thanks for tapping in. My name is obviously Maj Toure. I appreciate you all. If you guys got some value from the show tonight, share the space all over the place. If you're watching on X, links up there. Support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Talking about the problems and not supporting the people and organizations that are doing the actual work is nothing. It's an exercise in futility. And we are not futile as Americans. We are not. We are not. We keep this going independently. We're not taking no money from APAC. Not taking no money from the Democrat tax base. We're not taking no money from the Republican tax base. We're not doing that because it's not our money. We do conflict resolution in the cities that these people complaining about. We do firearm safety, constitutional awareness, civics, understanding imminent threat, stop the bleed, things that are practical for these areas. We do that for free for anybody that wants to come learn and teach because of your support. That link's down there in the comments as well as down on the screen. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I thank you all. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be safe, be solutionary.